Hello and welcome to KJ's Kitchen. I am KJ. I'm 14 years a master fitness trainer, a fitness nutrition specialist, and most important to me, a happy mom serving up healthy meals from my kitchen to yours every Wednesday here on Facebook at noon Eastern. Although we are about 5 minutes late today because I got a new iPhone and have no idea why when I rotated my phone, the live would not rotate. So we are going vertical today. Hopefully you can catch everything in this vertical shot. And anyone who has the iPhone X, because I am all new to all these flips and sways every way. I like my home button and I really miss it. Tell me, is there a secret about rotating the phone and getting that thing to move? Because I was going through settings for the last 5 minutes and could not find a secret. So let's get back into the kitchen. Today, I am time and time again helping people with snacking. Snacking can make or break your results. So if you find that you can do really well with a good breakfast, you can do nice with a good old salad for lunch, or you're pretty good with your lunch. Dinner, hit and miss, depending on who else you're feeding. Sometimes they're picky eaters and you don't have as much liberty to be as healthy when you're feeding an army. But what about your snacks? Now, surely I show you a lot of fresh food snacks and a lot of like sweet, like healthier versions of baked goods. What about savory snacks? Crackers is what we're approaching today. Crackers, number one, is just usually a huge carb load. It's not so often you're finding a high protein cracker. You will today. And if you are gluten-free or grain-free, which I highly recommend you doing, it is great for gut health. Usually when you go for a gluten-free cracker, if you read the label, it's full of starches. Rice flour, rice starches, potato starch. All of those are nutritionally deficient. They're not offering you a huge nutrient load. So again, it's just wasted calories. I say don't count your calories, make your calories count. So the calories you are putting in your body, make sure they're nutrient dense. So today, I'm gonna show you a high protein, low carb, grain-free, gluten-free cracker. Are you prepared? And then while they're in the oven, I'm gonna show you a really fantastic dip so that you are not left with just dipping it in hummus, which is another, like a bean, and adding more carbs in. I'm gonna show you a high protein, awesome dip for you. Hopefully the whole family will love. Now, if you watch KJ's Kitchen often enough, you know I'm all about easy. This is all happening in one bowl, or shall I say one food processor. So I'm starting with the food processor. I usually buy Trader Joe's steamed lentils. They're done for you in a little tight air-sealed pack. Well, I didn't get to Trader Joe's, but lucky enough for me, I did find at Walmart canned organic lentils. So this is what I made the recipe out of because I was not on the Trader Joe's side of town at all this week. And this is 15 ounces. I measured it out. It is a little more than a cup, so like a rounded cup if you're just scooping it out of the Trader Joe's steamed bag, or you're go ahead and steaming your own lentils, or getting your own lentils nice and soft. You want them to be soft lentils. Putting that in. Don't put them on your counter like I just did. That's kind of funny. Make sure you get all of them out. Don't leave any lentils behind here. Okay, so that is the only. I'm gonna just scoop up these lentils. I did just wash my counter, so I do know that's completely clean there. I would hate to leave about 15 lentils out because they are so delicious and nutritious. That's it for wet ingredients, guys. This is gonna be the easiest recipe you have ever done if you've ever tried to make a cracker. Okay, going into the dry ingredients, we're gonna start with the flavor. I opt for garlic powder. This is organic garlic powder from Aldi. I think it's Aldi. Okay, got that 1 teaspoon. I just kind of go around, although the food processor is gonna make all of it easy. 1 teaspoon of salt. If you subscribe to the KJ Kitchen enough, you know I use pink Himalayan salt. Going around there. And now that's The only seasoning I'm adding, because I make these very kid friendly, I will give you a couple options at the end for sprinkling on top if you want to make them a little bit more adult friendly. But the flavor is still going to be coming from, oh my, I thought I had my cups. Don't go anywhere. I need my quarter cup. The quarter cup is actually all you're going to need because I love easy peasy. So I try to make my recipes pretty easy. We're going for nutritional yeast. Yes, this is gonna pack some flavor, but even cooler than that, it's gonna pack a ton of nutrients into this. If you're not familiar with nutritional yeast, it is gluten-free. It is not the same as baker's yeast. It is not the same as brewer's yeast. It is a gluten-free, naturally gluten-free food. And if you want to compare it to something, it's a little nutty, a little salty, and it reminds me more of Parmesan cheese. So it is the vegan Parmesan cheese, right? So I'm adding this in. So much more nutritional value than Parmesan cheese. So even if you do love Parmesan, you're gonna opt for nutritional yeast because we are packing in, oh my goodness, let's see here, like 500% of your B12s, your we're doing vitamin B6, another like 500% folate, that's another B vitamin. We've got a ton of vitamins going on here, thiamine, riboflavin, boom. I just made this nutrient rich, and all it is like next to no carbs, higher protein than carb, 0 sugars, 0 fats. It's an amazing addition. And it tastes great. So go for a quarter cup of your nutritional yeast. I got mine at Trader Joe's. I think you can grab it anywhere. Next up for dry ingredient is almond meal. You know I bake a lot with almond flour. This is almond meal. It's almost gone. Hopefully I have a quarter cup in there. Okay, quarter. Did I make your life easy? You're using 1 measuring cup for the entire recipe. Quarter. There we go. Quarter cup almond meal. Again, adding in a ton of fiber and a ton of protein. Last but not least, I don't have the bag for it, but this is my coconut flour. This one's organic, Bob's Red Mill, I think that's his name. Quarter cup of this. Again, it's another high protein, high fiber option for a gluten-free flour, or it's not a flour, it's a coconut. And then let's add in more fiber. Why so much fiber? Well, number one, we all need it. It also helps you stay hungrier and satisfied longer. Great digestive health. And when you're dealing with carbohydrates, lentils naturally have carbs in them. You're not going to avoid that, but we really want to get the protein from the lentil and have a cracker that has no grain. The higher the fiber, the less net carb. If you're not familiar with your macros, when you take the total carbohydrate and subtract the fiber, that's what you're left with, a net carb. So we're gonna add in even more fiber, and I love the flavor of flax. Flax also helps bind. So there's a purpose behind this in my recipe making, because I didn't want to go with egg. So I wanted it to be crackery and grainy. So we got 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal. Last but not least, coming close, psyllium husk powder. And really all this is fiber. This is, you ever heard of Metamucil? Yeah, that's like flavored psyllium husk with a bunch of other like sugary and weird stuff. So skip the Metamucil, go for the real deal, and it's pretty flavorless. Just add it to your own water and do that instead of all that Metamucil stuff that has like orange colors and flavors that aren't so real. Okay, 1 rounded teaspoon of psyllium husk. Voila! That completes the cracker. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a nice whirl and get it all mixed in. Woo! There we go. Get your spatula ready. Oh, and set your oven to 350. I was gonna do that at the start. I realized my oven's not on. Okay, here we go for some more. I stop it only to scrape with the spatula when I see that maybe, just maybe, well, my spatula got caught on the blade. How cool is that? Totally cool. Okay, maybe, just maybe, you see that there's a little bit of your almond meal or your coconut flour at the very edge. Everything else is mixed very well. I'm just taking it around the edge with my spatula to make sure that I get that all blended in. So I bring it into the center. Gonna take it one more time. It kind of looks a little crumbly. That's intentional. We don't want this to be loose liquid dough. I'm gonna clean that up what I just got done scraping. And shut her down. I'm gonna show you what it's gonna look like when you're at home doing this cracker. It's a little, you can see it kind of sticks together, but it is crumbly. But if you pinch it together, ooh, it's damp and it's gonna stick. That's our cracker dough. Okay, what we're gonna do with it, this is the easy peasy, guys. Easy peasy. We are going to drop it between two pieces of parchment paper onto, and watch how I literally drop it. Ready? Like this. I drop it, there it goes. The blade too, but now I can discard the blade. Bye-bye. Take my spatula, get everything out, get all the good stuff out. We don't want to leave the good stuff. Okay, and you can see it's a little crumbly. I promise you, your crackers are going to hold together, even though this looks a little crumbly. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get my hand a little dirty, bring it in. Woo-hoo. There we go. You can even do that, make it a little quicker. Pull up the sides, bring it in, make it a little dough ball. Okay, press it together. Hi, dough balls who came to the side. There you go. Okay, if you want to be really fancy, and I'm going to do this just for the sake of fanciness on camera, I'm going to actually press the sides in. When I do it at home and don't really mind, I just trim off the edges and create little crackers myself, which I'll probably still do. And I'm going to put my parchment paper down first. And I'm going to press. Yes, I'm using the rolling pin, but first I want to get it nice and flattened out first. When doing crackers, if you have never made crackers at home, I want to urge you to be patient with the rolling process. We don't even need the pan. Let me get rid of the pan. I had it out to make life easy. So I would have the pan out, right? But I like to do it right on my countertop so that it's not sliding off the pan. First I'm just spreading. You see I'm kind of pushing the dough. I'm not even using the roller portion of the rolling pin. I'm not rolling it. I'm spreading it, smearing it. What do you want to say these words are? I love to hear from you. Use the comment field. You spread or smear? What do you do? Spread or smear? I'd love to hear from you. Because I feel, based on maybe your family's origins, you're going to use a different vocabulary. Okay. All right, I got a little cracker on there. Now that I have it pretty spread out, I'm going to use the rolling option. You want it so thin. Now, if you ever make like potato chips in the oven, zucchini chips, anything like that, you realize they really don't get crispy unless they're ultra paper thin. I don't need this paper thin. I need it like a little thicker than paper thin. Cardboard thin. I think it's about, maybe cardboard thin instead of paper thin. Okay, and you'll know from feeling, let's see, feels a little thick in the middle. You'll feel it's very thin on the side. It gets a little thicker in the middle, which is pretty normal, right? So I'm just going to pull it out, pull it away. This is why I say be patient. Don't just rush through this and have very thick crackers. You're going to end up with soft crackers instead of crunchy crackers. There we go. That feels good. It feels thick on the end here, but I think I'm also losing parchment. So I'm rolling off the parchment. That's fine. Boop, boop. Goodbye, parchment. Okay, rolling off the parchment there. Perfect. I'm going to get my pan, slide it back on now. Okay, we got the crackers on the pan again. Peel this away. Don't just lift up. I peel to the side. Woo! Check this out, guys. Very thin. I'll show you how thin. Look how thin. Super thin. Cracker dough. Here's the easy peasy part. Now I did, maybe make a little mess of things right there. I use a pizza cutter or the likes. And I'm just gonna go and get, number one, get the edges off. And I'm gonna do about 1.5 inch wide cracker. And you know, if you didn't make the edges pretty like this here, I actually think I tried to make them pretty here, but I think that it turns out better when I didn't make it pretty. They look just the same is what I'm saying. There's no special something happening here. Got your, now I'm gonna go the other direction. Woo. So even though this might seem like quite the process, I mean, you see how fast and easy, had I not been speaking to you the entire time, that food processor would have been done in, I don't know, less than a minute. And this process, if it takes you 5 minutes or so, it's really not that bad if you really want to seek a better cracker in your family. I guess it depends on if you like crackers or not, because some people could live without them. Stick with vegetables to dip your stuff in. With the little edges, you see how it's like a half a cracker? I just take 2 of them and press them together. Those ones aren't as pretty. They're like the little ugly stepsisters to my beautiful Cinderella crackers here. But they're gonna taste just the same. So even if you get little ugly crackers on the side, I find that it's better to cook them when they are more of the same shape than leave these tiny little corners to kind of, I guess, get cooked up way quick while the others are taking their time. So find your little happy pieces and connect them, press them, make little goofy looking crackers all over. Okay, another step that is an easy step. Boop, boop. Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so what I like to do, and this is gonna be, again, up to you, I just take the little roller and pull them apart just a little. Just so there's a little bit of room. And they move easily on the parchment, guys, and they move as a full cracker. Here we go. Pulling them apart a little, giving them a little bit of air around the edges. They don't have to be like all even or anything. Nothing crazy like that. But it will help get each of the crackers more crispy if they have a little bit of breathing room. See, it's just like a little shift. So taking that extra step. There we go. And sometimes I just kind of shake and wiggle on the line. Shake and wiggle. There we go. You can see these awesome. See how thin these are? Paper thin crackers. Yeah. Rock and roll. We're almost done there, and I am going to, you can choose this next step as an option. That's going to be, if you are living in a low-fat world, that's not my world. We like real food and real fat. We don't find that animal and plant fat is harmful to us. It's trans fats. And ucky stuff like that is the devil. So if you are open to using plant or animal fat and you're not shy of that in your diet, I'm going to brush these with avocado oil. Yes, you could choose olive oil if you want. I can just see that I just, didn't do the most beautiful presentation. I left some crackers behind. I've got like this tiny little strip because he rolled off the parchment paper. But he's not going to fit on my pan, so we're just going to leave him behind today. Here we go. I'll take one of you squares. One cracker gets to come with me. There we go. Okay, now with the brushing. If you have a nice pretty brush, you can use that. I have a grilling brush because it's the only brush I've ever bought was for the grill. So I'm going to use this giant grilling brush and go ahead and get, I would say about 2 tablespoons, maybe only 1. Let's see. Just a little bit of avocado oil. You could do olive oil if you prefer. And I'm just going to brush them. So just a quick little brush over everything. Nothing too thick. This little step is going to, yes, boost the flavor and also give it a nice crispiness. If you've ever baked things to get them crispy, you know that the oil does a lot of that work. So you could go dry though. Do not get me wrong. If you are all about like, hey, no extra fat on those crackers for me, then you could skip this part. The oil's also going to help make the topping stick. A little bit of a glue, if I may. Yeah, this is maybe a tablespoon, maybe tablespoon and a half, because I didn't even quite get 2 tablespoons in there. So it's not a ton. You just kind of want to wet them. See if they all look a little shiny. They all look pretty good. Okay, there we go. And I'm using coarse sea salt. Hang tight while I grab a fork. If you've noticed, most crackers will have some sort of ventilation. So I'm going to use a fork and double fork each cracker. Okay, it almost looks like, how many prongs? 8. It looks like a dice to me, or a domino, that I just go fork, fork onto one cracker. Fork, fork. Okay. If you have a small cracker, maybe you do a single fork. Nothing to be all about. You could get fancy if you want to go crisscross or something, like an X. Ooh, crisscross. Oh, how pretty. Or if you're like me, you're just going to get it done. Fork, 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 fork. Yeah, display's great, but I promise the dip I'm going to show you, that's the wow part of these crackers. You can dip any kind of holy cracker into this, and you're going to love the dip. Okay. You're going to love the cracker, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong, you're going to love the cracker. Almost done forking my crackers over here. Don't say that. Forking my crackers. I don't know, that's another one. I don't know where that's going. Here we go. Haven't used, boop. I usually do this step before the oil. I realize I get in some oily fingers, but you know, we just roll with it when we're live. Boom, forky, forky, fork. Done. Check me out. Beautiful forky crackers. Now here's optional again. I like coarse sea salt. You see these crackers? I like coarse sea salt on mine because we're not afraid of salt in my family. This is kosher salt. It's less than a teaspoon. I just like put a tiny little part in my hand, and I just sprinkle. Just sprinkle. Yep. Nothing major, but just enough that you're gonna get a little bit of salt on every cracker. I find it to be delicious. You also might opt for rosemary if you're adulting. Now, I don't do rosemary because my kids will go, what's that? And then they'll taste something nice and potent and go, I don't like this. So we keep, yeah, that was not even like a half a teaspoon. That was tiny. If you don't mind pressing it again, you would just place your parchment paper down, press the salt into it just so that it gets into the cracker. This way, it's not, once you pull the crackers apart, throw them in a bag or a Tupperware, losing all the salt, right? So I just press in the salt, make it in the cracker, putting it on the medium rack at 350. Whoop. And I'm setting my timer for 30 minutes. Now here's the trick, and here's part of the patience. 30 minutes, I'm gonna pull the crackers out. The edges, which are usually thinner from the rolling, are gonna be cooked already. I'm gonna push them off the pan with a little spatula, put them aside, they're gonna dry and cool off on their own. And then I'm putting them back in for 5 more minutes. I'm gonna pull it out, see if they're all done. They might be all done if you got your cracker dough thin enough. If you still have too thick of crackers, you're going to, again, shed off the edges and maybe spread out the others and create more air and go in for that final 5 minutes. So it might take you up to 40 minutes to cook these because they're at 350, a nice low temp, so that we're not gonna burn them. And it's a nice slow and low, so it will air out and dry out the crackers. So when you're done, let me just show you. You will have little, you see my little holes? Little crunchy, salty lentil crackers. Each cracker, they make about 60 crackers, maybe more. More, probably because this is even thinner than these. These are, I got a couple thick spots on this batch here. It is about 1.2 net carbs per cracker and 0.9 protein. That's almost a match of protein to carbohydrate. Next to no sugar. I don't even think that you could even have a nominal amount of sugar in here to call it sugar. Super high fiber. Each cracker has like 0.6 grams of fiber. Each one cracker. Hello? So if you're looking for a high fiber, high protein snack, feels just like you're just eating carbs all day. Here you go. You've got yourself a high protein, grain-free, gluten-free cracker. Now let's show you what to dip it in. So while your crackers are cooking, let's get to work on a yogurt dip. Now, sure, you can make a hummus out of a lentil or a chickpea or whatever, but that's just you eating bean cracker or legume cracker into legume dip. So sure, that's plant-based protein, that's fine and all, but like I said, the beans or legumes still hold a high carbohydrate count, even though they offer good protein. So let's skip out on a carb dip and go with a pure protein dip. We're gonna start with 1 cup of Greek yogurt plain. I really prefer Cobot, C-O-B-O-T, because I know that they use pasture-raised farm, but they didn't have any. They only had vanilla at the store. So I went with Fage 2%. I recommend 2% or whole milk-based yogurt because it definitely is going to bring better flavor. And it's just one less step of breaking away the nutrients. So we are whole foodists. So if I see whole milk yogurt, I grab it. If I don't find that, I reach for the 2% because that's just one step away from like the no fat. Since when is milk no fat? Quit pulling away from our foods. Keep them real, right? Okay, so you got that. I'm gonna get my cucumber. We go organic in this house. I've got a half a lemon, and I've got 2 cloves of garlic and some fresh dill. Any chance you know what I'm making? I'd like to hear from you in the comments. It is something my husband loves. He'll be very happy when he comes home for lunch and drops off my son, because he'll get to enjoy some delicious homemade tzatziki. Familiar with the word? Familiar with what that is? It is a cucumber garlic yogurt sauce, yogurt dip. Okay, so it is great on the side of things like lamb. It's great on the side of falafel, a hummus plate, anything very Mediterranean style. But it also is great dipped in pita. But we don't do no pita here. We got lentil crackers. So that's what made me think of doing this. Was it in the summer we've got a surplus of our fresh cucumbers, and it's very refreshing with the lemon and dill. Very great for summer. I know fall is here essentially in another week, right? We're entering Labor Day. So you want 2 cloves of garlic. You're gonna smash these really a lot. I'm gonna open them up first. So I've got the pieces. Boop, and now I'm gonna take a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, this step is just gonna help make a garlic paste. So 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Put right on top of that garlic. Bam, 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 just like that. Taking the flat end of my knife, and I'm gonna smash it down so much that I am literally pulverizing this garlic. So I just check it, push it away, get another big piece. Keep smashing the garlic with the salt. Remove my chop again, get it piecey. It's getting all salty in there. If you could see it, I wish I had 2 cameras. Wouldn't that be cool? You could like zoom in on what my knife's doing. I mean, that would be high-tech stuff. Who's got a camera crew for me in KJ's Kitchen? I'd love it. Here we go, pressing. I'm pressing it so it really lets out all of that delicious flavor. And then mincing more, super mincing. It's not even about, like I'm trying to create like a paste action over here. So definitely mince and press and getting that salt all worked in. Bringing out that awesome garlic. So delish. Okay, I think we pretty much got our paste here. Woo! I'm gonna scrape it into my bowl. Yes and yes. Okay, this bowl is not gonna cut it. What was I thinking? I need a big bowl because I gotta mix it all. That bowl is gonna be for display. That's what I'm gonna serve it in. So instead I'm gonna mix it into this bowl. Hang tight with me. Yep, real life, right? Here we go. This is my serving bowl. Beep. Lovely. Okay, garlic with salt smashed into here. I want 1 tablespoon of lemon. So I'm gonna get my little lemon squeezer going. Boop, get my tablespooner. Make sure he has no flax meal on him. Looks good to me. Get 1 tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon. Boop, just like that. Now we're gonna get to this cucumber. Now this would be more like a medium. This looks really large to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut off about 1/3 of it, and this can be easy peasy used in my family. My daughter loves cucumber. First, you're gonna peel it. Get all the peeling off. You know, the big cucumbers like this have really thick skin, so we just want the meat of the cucumber. There we go. Got it peeled. If I missed a couple stragglers, it's no big deal. Now I'm gonna long slice it in the center. Boop. And you want to get the seeds out. Now, I don't have a little spoon nearby. I have 2 forks. I guess I grabbed double fork. I'm just gonna use this knife to get a majority out, because that's easy. If you had a little spoon, you could actually scoop them out. But we're just gonna improvise with my knife. And Mama got skills, so it's okay. You're gonna get all the seeds out. You don't want your tzatziki seedy. Okay, say that 5 times fast. You don't want your tzatziki seedy. You don't want your tzatziki seedy. Woo! I'm not Greek. I don't even know if I say tzatziki right. Any Greeks out there? Show me your Greek pride. Give it to me. Show me in the comment fields your Greek pride. I love it. I have a lot of friends who are from many different heritage points. And I loved Greece. I visited Greece back in 2000 and, oh my goodness, it's been forever, 2001, right out of college. Traveled Europe for 2 months, all alone with my little guitar. Such an experience. Okay, once you got your ends cut off and your seeds gone, you're gonna shred. Oh my goodness, where's my shredder? You guys are just digging into my kitchen today because I didn't have everything prepped, clearly. Get my shredder going. Now I'm going to get this shredded out on here and put into a bowl. So get into my strainer actually, because we need to strain. We need to strain the cucumber. That's the beauty of multitask here. All right, here we go. It's not going to fit in that very well, so I'm just going to grate and then pour it into there. Grating, you could use a knife and do super fine chopping. It's an option. I don't recommend it. This is going to be a lot quicker. If my food processor weren't already full of the good stuff, I might run it through my grater on my food processor and make it even that much faster. But you'll see this takes like no seconds. Well, some seconds. But it takes less than 30, that's for sure. Here we go. Now, cucumber is super watery, super nutritious. Sometimes when I'm dealing with people, I'm like, you need to increase your vegetables. They're like, I don't like any vegetables. I only like cucumber. I'm like, then eat as much cucumber as you can. Because it's so good for you. Have you seen that thing online yet of the gentleman, I think he's a Rastafarian, who sings the cucumber song? I showed it to my daughter because she loves cucumber. So I'm dropping this in and I'm straining the cucumber. So here we go. It's very wet, you know, cucumber juice, cucumber water, all that stuff. All is good. All is good. That's why some people don't love cucumber, is because it's so watery. They're like, it doesn't do anything for me. But it's awesome. You should try it. Here we go. I got a big old chunk in there. And if that's the case, no big deal either. So you do wish to have an extra bowl, which is not sitting out, to collect the water in. So I'm literally just pressing the cucumber with my hand or with the butt of another bowl or a cup or whatever you want. I actually do have a cup over here. Woohoo! Something on hand right there. Just gonna press with the cup, drain out as much of the water or liquid as possible. Get a nice dry meat. The meat of the cucumber, we need it nice and dry as possible. I flip it around take it from other angles. And you'll see, you get a lot of liquid out of this cucumber. I guess if you had like cheesecloth or something, but to me in KJ's Kitchen, we don't go that far. Again, that's a little extra step cleanup you could do. Feel free to do. I just press it into my, press. You actually could even grab it and squeeze it if you want to test your muscle strength. That's always fun too. Here we go. I got a nice dry cucumber now. I'll show you. That was like not much time. Can you see? I don't know if you can, because if I pour it anymore, it's gonna drip out. Shall I? So good for me. Hello, shot of cucumber. Okay, here we go, guys. Now I'm dropping this puppy in. Hello. Got my garlic, got my lemon, got 1 cup of my Greek yogurt. Okay, I already measured that out before you got here. There we go. Last but not least, my dill. Fresh dill is what's gonna make or break this, so don't go putting dried up dill in here. Do you hear me? Okay. 1 tablespoon of fresh dill. You know I'm an eyeballer. So I'm just gonna chop. I could probably, because I have a tablespoon sitting right here, test how my eyeballs work. Shall we see how the KJ Kitchen eyeball really works? Because I think that looks like a tablespoon. Now we're gonna actually see if it is. Woo, let's see. Ooh, am I short? How dare I? Oop, let's get some of this up. Scrape, when you scrape with a knife, never scrape with the sharp end. You wanna scrape with the back end. You don't wanna dull out your knives. So you hear me scraping, but I promise I'm not doing it on the sharp side. Wow, I almost rocked that. What do you say? Did I rock that tablespoon visually? Was that a visual tablespoon or what? Maybe I could go with a couple more sprigs on the edge. I would say that is quite all right. Because I might be a little bit of a perfectionist. And because I love dill, I have a tiny bit left. I'm just gonna grab more of the hairs off and get them in there because there's a little bit more dill on the side. Lovely. Let's go with a little black pepper, ground black pepper, and go with a 1/2 teaspoon of the pepper. And then we're just gonna stir it up. You're gonna see how beautiful it is. There we go. All right, here we go. Tzatziki in the making. Now, yes, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my serving bowl. Let it sit in the fridge for at least 2 hours before guests arrive or before serving. But I promise you, even right now, it's gonna taste phenomenal. And in 2 hours from now, it's gonna taste amazing. So, that was not too hard, right? Your crackers are still baking. You've got yourself amazing homemade tzatziki. And I'm gonna go ahead, and even though it needs to sit with its own flavor and marinade, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a cracker. You'll serve it up alongside of it, or you can put the tzatziki in the middle, and you got yourself a high protein, awesome dip on a high protein, low carb, high fiber cracker. It is amazing. So, if this recipe served you, I ask that you do everything amazing to me. Share, love, comment, tag a friend, put it on your wall. My mission is just to help as many people as possible live a healthy lifestyle. And we can do that with very realistic food choices. Doing what you're already doing with a little tweak, you can up level that, which will up level your results. Join me here every Wednesday on KJ's Kitchen. And if you're not subscribed to my email, there will be a link in the comments. You can sign up to make sure that you get on the KJ Kitchen emails. You will get my new recipe every single week. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate all the love. Take care and have a blessed Wellness Wednesday.